I've made children run with the bark of my gun. Heat pours from the sun, ain't no war ever been won. I'll be coming home in the month of June. I'll be coming home in the month of June.
It looks like the meter is no good and something is wrong with the shutter. I mean, yeah, we have these, but remember, I was doing manual alongside aperture priority most of the time. But man, these ones in the beginning, completely gone. Completely underexposed. I don't even know what those were. Well, this one has a sad ending. So if you saw the last video, you know that we ran into some issues with our Minolta XD. The M3 is currently in the shop. I'm starting to understand now how all these film heads end up with a bunch of cameras, because they have to go replace one when the one they've been using has to be taken to the shop. This all happened in 24 hours, by the way. Somebody had this R4S listed. I was going to just go pick up an X700 because those are very, very inexpensive. And then when I started looking on the marketplace, this R4S was not a whole lot more money. You're never gonna believe this, but I bought this at a doctor's office in Burbank. So the jokes are true. Everyone gives me shit for making fun of Leica owners. The condition of the viewfinder is mind-blowing. Like, it looks nothing like what I've been looking at through this XD. It's pretty gnarly. I mean, this thing is really minty. Now, it didn't come with this lens. I just happened to have the 28. I used to have all the Leica R lenses. I used them for my cinematography work. But when I saw this, I said, oh, so I quickly demodded this. I just, you know, took the adapter off, took the focus ring off. I have the original square hood for it still. And I still have my 60mm macro. I still have this one as well. This is actually what I scan my film with, with the 1-to-1 adapter. So we have a 60, we have the 28, but you know, even though everything seems to be okay with it, we don't know till we take it out. I love that it has this selective mode. Like, you can go from manual to spot metering to average metering, like in no time. This little lever right above your shutter dial there is pretty rad. It's obviously the same exact chassis as the XD, but you can feel the difference. There's a lot of little nuances between them. I'm not sure about the weight. I'm gonna pop this lens off real quick and see if there's a huge weight difference here. They don't feel like there is. Honestly, the XD feels like it might be a little heavier, oddly enough. Everything is a little bit more refined. The exposure comp is half a stops rather than full stops. We do have a little window here to kind of friendly film reminder. One of the things that is rad is this. It's like the shutter can be used as a thumb rest. The XD is not like that. Theirs is just kind of, everything just, you see how sloppy that shutter advance is? Granted, it's very old and used, but this one is kind of, and once it's cocked, now you can kind of use it as a, basically the same camera, just a little bit more refined and a way better viewfinder. But that's probably just because of the condition of this one. Okay, let's get out there and let's do a little test roll.
I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see.
That might be something. I think I can make something out of this back here. Check this out. I'm gonna test it against my meter. I brought this Sekonic meter. I'm gonna put this in manual mode. I'm gonna do this shot in all manual. She winds nice though compared to the XD. 400 it is. The Sekonic is telling me I can do 125th of a second at f8. Let's see what this one's gonna tell me. Sweet. I got lucky. The dude came out and that was his. So yeah, this is showing the same 125th. I think it's reading the same as the Sekonic. Oh, I got that just in time before that guy left. And now we got a person in the shot. Look at that. Amazing. The humanity came to me. That's the kind of stuff I want to try to get with this test roll. You know, more controlled. I try not to do crazy chaos for a test roll. It's like, yeah, how can we get it more chill, man? Damn, bro. What the fuck? Shit, that's nice. I like that. Editing Justin from the future here, and I just wanted to let you guys know, like, these rolls had a lot of blanks. I ended up shooting 4 rolls total, test rolls, trying to figure out what the issue I thought was with this R4S. But because I didn't want to waste your time and show you every single time that the camera shot a blank, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So what you are seeing along this discovery journey with me is the photos that did somewhat come out. Well, I do look a little gnarly today with the beanie on, but the point is to say that if you see something, you should just do it. You can't bank on like going back, like, oh, it'll be there later or whatever. So, missed opportunity, missed shot. So what it was a woman, like a shop owner, was standing in the doorway, and I went by twice and saw it, and then I knew when I saw it the first time that I should have done it. The second time was the universe reminded me, like, hey, this is still going on. And then I didn't do it. So then I said, okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna turn back around. I'll get it. You know, the third time, nah, it was already gone. She was gone. So yeah, that's why you can't wait on it. You just you gotta seize it when you can. I like this one with that tree, the bonsai, and everything. All of it. There's like certain elements here that I love. Oh, there's the trash can there. Let me see how wide it is. Yeah, I could do that one. Maybe. Oh, that's killer, dude. Look at that. So I did spot metering on that one, just on the car itself. So we'll see how it turns out. What do we got here, Johnny Bolts? Completely backlit situation. Heyo, that's nice. Hey, I think I like this 60 mil, dude. I think I like the 60 mil for this kind of style of shooting. There's something better up ahead, and I think I only have 1 frame left. This is what I was talking about. Ooh, with the mailbox. With this mailbox in the foreground, actually. I think I can do it with the mailbox on the bottom of the frame like this. I'm gonna go 5.6 on this one as well. Huh. Not sure if that's gonna turn out. That's killer though with the mailbox. Oh, there's another one. What kills it for me is the white truck. There's a modern truck on the other side of the yellow truck, and it's just kind of like killing the whole photo. If that truck wasn't there, it would be pretty perfect, actually. I'm gonna cut the yellow truck out altogether and just do that whole scene right there. That way, I have that other scene. Oh, I think that's the end of the roll. But where I was before with getting the mailbox in the foreground, oh, you could also do it that way and cut out the side of it and still cut out the white truck. I think I'm gonna do F8 on this though. Yeah, that was the last shot. That one might not come out. All right, that's all she wrote. So yeah, this is the first test roll of from the RS4. And at first I thought the issue was the exposure comp dial, because the exposure comp dial is backwards, the wheel on top. These are essentially the same camera, right? There's the XD is the base, the chassis for all the R4, R4S, R45. And notice this has a normal exposure comp wheel. See, you push up for plus, you push down for negative. That's how every exposure comp wheel works on every camera ever, even digital. So I didn't even think second of it. When I first bought this camera from the dude, I grabbed the exposure dial. First of all, you can barely see those numbers. I can't even see in there. So I just went up thinking, yeah, I'm going to push it +1, you know, because when it has auto exposure, I like to push it +1. What I didn't realize until after I developed these negatives and saw all the blanks, you can see all the blanks on here. There's like so many blanks on here. Like, look at this. See, there's just like a series of blanks, just nothing. Blanks, 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 all the way down, and just hit and miss, right? This is all with the exposure comp set to what I thought was like +1. Well, after seeing that, I thought, oh no, the shutter's messed up. But when you get this back and look at it, this is opposite. Their exposure comp wheel is opposite. So when I thought I was pushing it +1, it was going -1, right? So that would cause it to stop down more. So I thought, oh, I had the exposure comp backwards because it's literally on the camera backwards. I don't know why Leica put it on backwards. Now this one was manual. I did this one fully manual. I showed you guys this one with the meter. The meter inside the camera was the exact same reading as what I was getting on my Sekonic Lightmate, the handheld pocket meter. This was the only one that came out solid because this one was manually exposed. But then you notice you have this one of Gracie, but this was indoors, but aperture priority indoors, I believe. Let me pull up my notes because I did 2 different versions of her. This one is completely gone, but at least still somewhat exposed, but completely underexposed by at least 3 stops. Okay, so this first one, it's interesting. This first one was manual mode, 1/60th. I couldn't see the meter I wrote down. For some reason, I couldn't see the meter. The second one was with the spot mode on. They were both taken at f2.8 indoors. So the manual mode didn't work, but yet the spot metering did work. But this is indoors at 1/60th. All of these other ones right here, these were all outdoor. Well, this was aperture priority outdoors, not spot, because it has 2 different modes. You can do spot mode or you can do field of view average. So these were all with field of view average. Again, not knowing it was set to like -1 when I thought it was +1, right? So that's why I thought, dang, the exposure comp is killing me. Obviously, exposure comp didn't affect this photo because exposure comp doesn't apply to manual mode. The rest of these were all in aperture priority mode. But you'll notice some of them turned out. Some of them just happened to turn out somehow. But notice this. This is the one that caught my eye. This is a sign of the shutter getting stuck. The shutter is not opening all the way. Because I thought that was crazy. I'm like, why would it be blanks? Like, how could even if the exposure comp was only -1 when I thought it was +1, why would it produce a full blank in just blasted ass noon sky? Like, that didn't make sense to me. You would still get somewhat of an exposure, right? And that's when I realized looking at this, I'm like, oh, the shutter's not opening up all the way. And this is something that I experienced way back when I picked up my M6. Here's another example. The shutter isn't opening all the way, and it's happening the same side. Okay, so this is the second test roll. This was all indoors, and everything came back. There's no weird like half shutter. It didn't matter if the exposure comp was set to +1, -1. They all came back seemingly correct. The double exposure works there. You can see that the flash works, not TTL flash. So it obviously doesn't have TTL flash. That's a super dark one. But when I set the flash mode to auto, it did work. But yeah, there's no craziness here. So the problem though is that, okay, so my theory that the exposure comp is messing up the meter, that may be wrong. However, there might be still something wrong with that shutter because these are all indoor shots, right? So these are not going to be anything past 1/60th of a second. Probably not. Maybe some might be hitting as high as 1/25th, but definitely none of these were above 1/25th. So I'm going to make a little baby roll just to go run out in the backyard and shoot a bunch of stuff in manual mode, aperture spot mode, aperture field mode, with exposure comp, without exposure comp, and just see like, okay, is it the shutter or is it the exposure comp dial? But now that I see that the exposure comp dial isn't messing up the slower shutter speeds at all, I don't think it has anything to do with the exposure comp dial. Because see, the whole reason behind this is because I didn't read the manual until after I shot that first roll. And if you look in here, and if there's an incorrect exposure, the little plus minus thing will blink. Well, I thought it was blinking at me to let me know that I had exposure comp engaged. It was blinking to let me know that the exposure is inaccurate and it doesn't have a way to make it accurate, basically. For all these indoor shots last night, it never was blinking at me, except it was blinking at me for these first 3 of just my little canister of film rolls here. And you'll see though, it didn't mess with the shutter. I got this baby roll. I'm gonna throw this in here, take it outside. And this is kind of messing up my day, man. I should already be downtown shooting, but I can't throw 2 rolls of Kodacolor in here and waste those, especially downtown. If my theory is right that shutter doesn't work at faster shutter speeds, because this is exactly what my M6 did when I got it. We just gotta roll this up and see how it goes.
You wanna showcase your collar coming off here?
All right, we're back on it. My whole day is potentially wasted. So I'm not gonna let it bother me. I'm not gonna let it destroy the whole day. And I'm just done trying to get like cool shit. Like I literally just need anything, just so I know that the shutter is actually working. I got exposure comp completely turned off. Yeah, I'm gonna go in the middle of the street. Hit this one good. See, that one feels like it was a slow shutter on that one. That's full aperture. Let me make sure this exposure comp is off. See, that's another thing. They make this so you can't even see in here. It's definitely set to 0. Yeah, the numbers are so tiny in this thing. That one makes me a little nervous though. We're going 18 miles an hour right now. You wanna go faster though? There we go. Hold on to your seats. It's blowing the GoPro. 22 miles. Oh shit. All right, I got the tractor. Okay, now I can go over here and get the house. Boy, that dude was pissed, bro. Can't blame him though. I'm sitting in the turning lane. Oh yeah, here we go. Let me get something right here. I feel like I'm gonna throw the 60 on here soon. It's telling me to stop down even more. In aperture priority mode, now that I'm noticing this, interesting. I'm gonna throw the 60 on now, because if any of these shots turn out, I might want them. So I'm gonna swap this out for the 60. I've shot enough with the 28, you know, like 7 exposures, 6 exposures. So we know like, hey man, if that aperture tab is messed up on this 28, hopefully it's not. That's the lens I actually want to shoot on. The 60 I just use the scan film with. But for walking around like this is nice. But see, the meter doesn't always work. Right there, f16. Interesting. I hope that aperture tab in that 28 mil isn't messed with. That could be the sign too. That could be messing it up. Oh, shnikes. Dude, this is golden right here, dude. Holy cannolis. See, sometimes I can't get a reading at all on this. It's so weird. Yeah, it's over. It's telling me to go even higher. 16? It's weird. You might as well shoot in manual mode, huh? I gotta show you what I was talking about. I gotta kind of sit in the road a little bit. Let me go over here. I'll get more of an angle on it. So even at 1,000, f11, there it is, 16. f16. The aperture priority mode is kind of useless. I'm seeing that right now. I guess it wouldn't matter. Here's something kind of cool too. See, now I can open up to f8, I believe. I'm gonna do f11. It's telling me to do f16 though. I don't know, dude. I don't know about this camera, dude. Ah, what a bummer, man. What a bummer, dude. Oh, hold up. I like this right here. Yeah, I think the problem is like, the meter is just way too sensitive. Yeah, the meter's a little too, 22, I just don't buy this. 22 at 1,000th of a second? It was working indoors though. The indoor shots, it worked great. What the hell, man? Oh, the bike just died. It does this, it'll randomly die. The LA River's just up here. Yeah, the drivetrain only works by pedal now. The accelerator, oh, I just saw something rad back this way. Hold up. Because this one is rad too with the water coming out of it. And the mountains are this way too. And this way is frontlit, so it'll be better regardless. Oh, hell yeah. Right there. See if I can get it with the shopping cart. So there's a shopping cart down there. And then there's also like well, obviously the water and then the mountain. So see, this one's telling me to stop down again. I can barely see in here though. Like I can't see the mirror half the time. I think the mirror fell down. Ah, there it is. Even at F22, too hot. Too hot at F22, 1,000. What the fuck, man? Oh, come on, man. Oh, I think I got one without any cars. Let me try one in manual mode now. Let's see what it tells me in manual mode. F22 on manual mode is like 250th. There's so many cars. I'm not gonna get one. Oh, there we go. All right, I guess that was kind of clean. So that was manual mode. 250th it was telling me at F22 on that one. Wait, should I put it back on aperture priority mode? I should shoot how I normally shoot. With the M3, I would go F8 and then put this bitch on like 1/25th. That's what I do downtown. 1/25th of a second, F8. But I'm on a bike right now with this 60 mil. But maybe what I should do, should I throw the 28 back on after the bridge and try to get more crazy shot? Here comes a dude right here. That one might not have been fast enough. That was only 1/25th. He was definitely in the frame, but it was F8, 1/25th. That's probably gonna be blurry. I'm just trying to decide what I wanna do. Should I put it back in aperture priority mode? I think what I'm gonna do to get more shots with the 28 and assess if there is something wrong with this, well, I can just look at them, right? I can just look at the backs of them and see, like, is there something wrong with the tab? No, they both have their tabs. Both the tabs are in there. 28's back on. Oh, here we go, this is cool. Check this out, here we go. All right, I'm gonna take the first one in aperture field mode here. I'm gonna stop it down a little bit, like to F11. That first one I did aperture priority, the whole view. We're not messing with spot mode at all for selective spot metering. I'm gonna leave it on F11. So now I'll go manual mode and see what it tells me to do. It's telling me to close it down. So I'll go 1,000th at F11. Still not enough. I'll go F16. There, we're sitting good. Manual's telling me F16, 1,000th should work. Might be slightly over. It's weird, huh? I feel like the meter is off on this thing. But when I tested it the other day, all right, I'm gonna go back to F8. I'm gonna go back to aperture priority mode. I always try to wave at everybody so they don't think I'm like CIA or something with a GoPro. CIA with a GoPro. Oh shit. Oh, nice. See that? We'll see if these turn out at all. This is F11 aperture priority mode. With the 28. See, with the 60 it's nice because I can block out other stuff. See, that one was perfect, that F11 1000. Well, F11 aperture priority, I don't know what it changed it to. What I was thinking is that when it's in aperture priority mode, it's probably influenced by the highlights too much. Not sure if I got that one or not. You guys couldn't really tell what was going on there, but basically I saw him coming down and I waited for him. Oh, I kind of like this building right here. It's like so stark white with the tree. Might look rad with the black and white. Let me put it on spot though, actually. And I'm gonna meter the grass. All right, we'll do f16. See what that does. That one was spot mode, aperture priority spot, f16. Oh, I think this is the last one right here. Oh, I got one more actually. Now the last one I'll do spot mode and see what it gives me on the tree. Ooh, a 250. Spot mode gave me 250 on the tree at f11, and then it locks it. Wait, it's supposed to lock it. Ah, it didn't lock it. Oh, that's it. I think we're done. All right, for any of those of you still out there, I promise this is almost over. Yeah, it's pretty clear to see now that the gremlins that the internet talks about, specifically with the Leica R3, R4, and even the R5, seems to be quite true. Now, the reason why I went and picked this up, not only because it was so minty from the outside and everything beautiful about it, but it was because I had read that those gremlins were not actually affecting the R4S models, because the R4S was supposed to be on the, the back end of production of the R4s. Clearly, we can tell there's still something going on here, because the crazy thing is, I know how to check a shutter. I popped this open and went through every single speed before I bought it. I mean, they seem to be working by eye. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between a 1 second shutter speed versus a 1,000th of a second shutter speed, right? We can take a gander. But then the other day, after shooting those first 3 test rolls, every single speed looked the same. And now today, it's doing it again, but right before I rolled, the 2 seconds clearly was 2 seconds. And now it's snapping super fast again. The gremlins are real. It seems to be that, for whatever reason, the shutter performance is much weaker when it's in aperture full view mode, right? Because there's 2 different aperture modes. There's like the full field aperture priority mode, and then there's the spot aperture priority mode. And the ones that we looked at that were done with the aperture spot, those actually turned out the best, honestly. I mean, probably even better than a lot of the manual mode shots going off of the manual meter readings. Either way, yeah, it definitely is in need of a hardcore CLA. I mean, I guess that's to be expected. It's sitting on the doctor's shelf since the 80s or God knows how long. And it's like, well, yeah, the things tend to gunk up on the inside. I mean, I knew that. I guess my problem is I've been spoiled. That's the reality of it. Back even with this crazy medium format camera that we did, the Minolta XD that I dug out of my storage. Oh, the M3, when I first got that, it performed pretty well. So I guess I've just been spoiled with all of these older film cameras. The funny thing is, the one that looked the best from the outside was actually the worst performing. So go figure. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to start using one of these things. This is going to be hilarious, so stay on the lookout for that in the next video. But also, I got the 28mm MD core. I scoured the internet for the smallest 28mm Minolta MD that I can use on my XD, because it looks like the consensus was on the last video on the XD that some people felt like the camera was jamming up because I was rolling my bulk rolls too tightly. Yeah, I think they were right about that. So be on the lookout. We got some fun new stuff coming up. Hey guys, if you're still watching this, make sure you're subscribed, because clearly I've earned your subscription. If you are already subscribed, thank you so much for being a real one. Make sure you hit that like button and share this with your other friends that are fans of street photography, documentary photography, vlogging, just kind of a different way of seeing LA in the greater LA area. All right, we'll see you next one.
And if you have the proper luck and the holy endurance, the gods just might deliver.